Hello and welcome to this very special interview. Joining me today is Dr. Shikha Nehru Sharma, someone who needs no introduction, one of India's best known wellness experts for many years. Now, you may ask me, why am I interviewing here on a personal finance show? But let me tell you, health and healthcare is one of the areas where we end up spending the maximum. And yet, we have the least amount of awareness about how to manage our health, how to protect our wallet in the event of something happening. And which is why any good financial expert will tell you that the first financial product that you must buy is actually a health insurance policy. But given what we've seen over the last 3 years and what we see virtually every day, young people suffering and suddenly falling dead or having to overcome a serious disease. And mind you, with healthcare costs in double-digit inflation, one single disease can wipe out all the money that you've invested and you've built as a corporate. And that is why, how can we become healthier? How can we take care of our health? Is why I requested Dr. Shikha to come by. She, of course, as I said, has been a very acclaimed doctor in this space. But what is very interesting is that she has recently been moving a lot into the digital side and has floated a few ventures of her own. So she's a digital health entrepreneur and she's the founder of One Health. So there's so much to talk to her about her entrepreneurial journey, but today I'll stick to just the health part of it. Dr. Shikha, thank you very much for coming by here on Money Paathshaala, and it's a pleasure talking to you. I've had the privilege of interviewing you a few times earlier in my career, but it's great to have you here on this digital platform. We've just, about getting over COVID. I wouldn't say we've seen the last of it, but has there been a shift, according to you, in the attitude of people towards taking care of their health in a post-COVID world?
So I would say that I see two kinds of trends. I see an increased consumerism or consumer-oriented behavior, buying behavior towards health. But if you ask me, has the attitude changed? I would say no. Now I'll give you an example of how. So initially, the whole consumer behavior was towards buying the glitz and the shiny and all of that, So new mobile, new laptop, car, devices, furnishings, clothes. So the consumer behavior, that is buy, was more towards these kind of things. After the pandemic, now the consumer behavior has shifted towards buying health as a commodity, as a product. But really, in that whole buying diversion, health is being looked at more like something you can buy off the shelf. Like you buy a car, you buy a scooter, you buy a phone. The participation of the consumer, that consciousness has not come. So I will pay, I talk to the best doctor, you fix me. I will pay, I'll buy a good medicine, the medicine should fix me. But I am not willing to participate in this whole journey of transformation. So the participation is yet to come back. It's more like a commodity that here is the money, I'm buying health. The thing is, you can't buy health.
And, you've been someone who has always, in your life, in your career, advocated about healthy eating. That's just one part of what you do, but healthy nutrition. And I remember our earlier conversations, and I was going through some of your interviews. You've always laid a lot of emphasis on eating right, food as a medicine. Can you tell us a little about that when you say participation? Of course, I'll come to the physical exercise and other kind of things. But when you talk of good eating, is there a 3-step? I know health is not something you can cover in 3 steps, but given your expertise, is there a 3-step guide that how can you be healthy? Simple steps. In our future conversations, we'll go more into detail about them, but at least for a starter, 3 healthy habits that you can inculcate.
Okay, so the first I would say is a shift in our understanding about health. So what I'm trying to say is that like you can acquire material stuff. So the first shift in getting healthy is that one has to honor the body. Now, if I give you an example of, and this is the first rule I would say, so I'm going to tell you 3 rules. So the first rule is honor your body. Now, this rule of honoring your body means that today, if somebody needs a kidney transplant, it will cost anything between 10 to 25 lakhs. Somebody wants a liver transplant, depending on the hospital, the expertise, everything else. Again, 10, 25, 30 lakhs. If somebody gets a heart attack, 4 to 5 lakhs. If somebody gets cancer, 15, 20 lakhs. So which means that what we have as an asset, as a body, as just a disease-free body, is running into a couple of crores. So the first rule is, when I say honor your body, is that this asset is the most undervalued asset in our human mind. And that is why we misuse this asset. I think people send their cars for, or their scooters or their bikes more for maintenance than they ever look after their own bodies. So I think the first is look at your body as a asset. Otherwise, it'll become a liability. So that's rule number 1, which is honoring that asset. Rule number 2 is one has to move away from diets, weight loss, weight gain, bodybuilding, to basically what are you putting inside your body? Like, for example, even if we don't talk about weight loss, weight gain, and all that, the oil which you are eating, how many chemicals does it have? Most modern refined oils are full of chemicals which damage the body because the refining process is using chemicals. So the first is that whatever you're putting inside your body, how harmful is it? It's nothing to do with weight loss, weight gain, bodybuilding, nothing. Those are separate goals. So if suppose I'm eating a packet of chips and it has 5 chemicals which will damage my body, which is an artificial color, a preservative, an artificial aroma. So I'm basically having those chemicals rather than the product. So the first is just be aware or conscious about how many chemicals have you eaten today? That's my question to people. So conscious eating is, and conscious purchasing. If somebody is giving you sabse sasta oil, and that oil is actually going to kill you in the long run, or if somebody is giving you the secret of my energy and all that jazz, and actually you look and you see it's 40 grams of sugar. So why am I giving sugar? See, what happens, a lot of people don't even put a little bit of effort on understanding what is going inside their bodies. How are they fueling their bodies? I mean, people would know more about the car fuel, the extra special petrol and this and that, but they have no clue about what is going inside their body. So second rule, I would say, thumb rule is just be conscious about what's going inside your bodies. Is it going to kill you? Is it slow poison? Right? The third thing about food and nutrition is, do you know, or is in your daily routine, are there enough foods which are going to nourish and rejuvenate you? Are there enough foods, or are we just going and eating the same thing over and over and over again, in various formats? Like a lot of people, sometimes I ask okay, so what are the grains you're having? What is the variety in your diet? So they say we had bread, we had pasta, we had pizza, we had noodles, we had cookies, we had burgers, we had pizza. They're all wheat. There is no diversity in their diet. So they're only getting a limited amount of nutrients. So I would say that I think it's important to say that out of thousands and thousands of things we can eat as a human species, how many good things, if you have the money, are you eating? Or are you one of those souls who has all the money, but you are a very poor eater? You're eating the poorest kind of food.
Mm.
So I think what I'm saying is that when we look at our food choices, if we have the money, are we spending that money to get the best food for ourselves? Or, I mean, sometimes I in my head do this imaginary conversation that there is some poor person, a beggar on the road, and he's thinking, ki ye sab log, they're going in gadis, they must be getting the best food, they must be getting the best of everything. And the poor guy doesn't know that actually these guys are not using their legs, they're not using their arms, they're eating just sugar and chemicals every day, and they are in a poorer position than us.
Mm.
So what I'm saying is, we assume just because we have a lot of material stuff, we are living a good quality life. But actually, the food we are eating could be the worst food available on the planet.
Dr. Shikha, you've had some very strong views on, the whole supplements consumption. And today, I mean, if you walk into a chemist shop, or forget about a chemist shop, you walk into any regular store, it's just packed with more and more of supplements. And there are a lot of new age companies, and you find different packaging, more attractive packaging, more strong statements, promising, again, good health, promising a solution. What was your advice to people? You may need multivitamins at some age or some stage, but should you go and self-consume supplements, or do it only under the observation of a doctor?
So the first thing which I would say is, the whole mindset. So in financial world, anybody who's giving extraordinary returns on your investment, you always smell fraud.
Hmm.
Because if somebody is giving you 2x the market returns without any logic, that means it is some Ponzi scheme. So I would say exactly the same thing for health claims. If somebody is giving you uh, anti-aging, uh, strong bones, this, that, claims after claims after claims, it obviously is a Ponzi scheme, because health is a multifactorial thing. Just by eating a little bit of calcium, your bones won't get strong, because if you're eating a lot of sugar, the sugar will keep depleting it,
Hmm.
keep removing that calcium. So it is a multi-pronged approach. So what I'm saying is that, like I said, that today people have a commodity mindset, a pill for every ill. That okay, I'm not going to eat healthy. I'm not going to do any change in my lifestyle. I'm not going to actually choose healthy foods. I'm going to eat all the junk in the world. And this multivitamin sitting on that nice shelf, which is looking expensive, imported, maybe this will counter all my bad habits.
Hmm.
That modification, that which what I call is a lottery scheme, does not work in health, because health is a sustained effort. Health is an effort where I would say it's not even a sustained effort. It's just a conscious living. It's just that when we live consciously, when we are more careful about our choices, like I'll give you a very small example. Let's look at the aroma industry. The last time I heard, it was really skyrocketing.
Hmm.
Car perfumes and home perfumes and this and that and whatever. So I was thinking, amazing, yeah. I mean, we are not only eating chemicals, now we are also inhaling chemicals. So I think the choices we make, those are critical. It is better to buy a natural product with a natural fragrance rather than going and buying all these chemicals which are going to, and when you inhale stuff, it goes into your brain, because through the nose it has a direct contact with the brain. So people don't realize that every choice they make, they're damaging something or the other in their body. The body is very sensitive and very strong. So it's a very funny thing. The body is sensitive, that means very perceptive. If you look at your fingertips, if you look at your ability to smell, ability to hear, ability to taste, so it's very sensitive, perceptive, like a very finely tuned machine. It's also resilient, but so this sensitiveness and resilience go together. So if suppose we are not dropping dead, doesn't mean that what we are doing is right.
Dr. Shikha, one final question. One of the changes one sees around oneself, wherever we are, is that there seems to be a greater push in, especially, I wouldn't say young people, across age groups, to exercise a lot more than they probably used to. Where earlier it was just a walk, it's now become a run, or going to the gym. And often, I mean, we are reading stories or hearing news about someone who was totally fit, just collapsed in the gym, or collapsed while running. What is the right way, according to you, to exercise?
So, firstly, I would say a very quick 1, 2, 3. Firstly, after pandemic, most of us have inflamed bodies because the way the virus works. So, please start having natural organic vegetables and in a juiced form. So, just buy tomatoes, cucumber, carrots, beetroot, and juice them every day. So, just do yourself a favor, get a good juicer, and every day start having vegetable juices because that will reduce the inflammation in your body. That is number one. Number two, try to take the load off of as many chemicals as you possibly can identify, whether they're coming from products, food, or they're coming from applications, or whether they're coming from inhalations. Try to reduce the load of chemicals in your body because that causes inflammation. Third thing would be that drink enough water, exercise, but make sure that your food component is looked after, because if you're having a diet which is extremely acidic, a lot of chemicals, a lot of products, a lot of fast food, a lot of things out of a can, plus non-vegetarian food, because a lot of men, boys are told that to bulk up you need a lot of non-veg food, so they are upping their acidic food without balancing by a lot of vegetables and salads and vegetable juice. So that leads to an inflamed condition where blockages are happening. And then, they run or do whatever. So exercise per se are not bad. I think it's the way people are eating while they're exercising. So that's very, very important. Here, I just want to say one more thing is that it is important today for people to map their risk score. Like you had said in the beginning of the interview, that if you get afflicted by a disorder or a disease, the hospital bills can wipe out your savings. So I think it's very important to map your health risk score and plan in a prudent way. When I say prudent, I'm not saying that that health is something which should be left to a emergency eventuality. I think you should plan savings for health and also activities which can counterbalance all the risk factors. So I think financial planning is good, but also health planning in a health financial planning is one of the most important things I think, Vivek, you could do through your channel, because I think you are the right person who can explain that health financial planning, how it is to be done. Because I think that's one area people completely wait for some eventuality to happen before they are suddenly struck that, oh my God, I'm stuck now.
It's been an absolute pleasure, like always, talking to you, Dr. Shikha, and thank you so much for taking time out. And I look forward to many, many more conversations and being a part of your journey to, make people more aware. I mean, some such basic, simple things, the way you told them, everybody can do them. But I guess we just need to make people more and more aware. Thank you so much for taking your time out. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me. And I would say that I think this is the need of the hour. What you're doing, Financial Paathshaala, is the need of the hour. And many people have no clue about their finances. They might be earning lots, but they have no clue about their finances. So I think it's really wonderful. And all the best of luck for you, so that a lot of people can connect and learn, basic finances.
Thank you so much, Doctor, and really nice talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.